Hello, Tar Heel Nation. I am back. This is the UNC Hoops Talk podcast. I am your host, Dan DeWitt. After a week off and a lot of games since we've last talked, we got a lot to get to. We're going to jump right in. But before we do, I just want to thank you for choosing to listen to this podcast, for supporting this show, and coming along with me on the journey that is the 2015-16 Tar Heel basketball season. And we got a lot to do. We're going to jump in. We got all the way back to the Notre Dame game, and then a couple of games that I missed, haven't seen yet. I have them DVR'd and haven't had a chance yet. In BC and Pittsburgh, we have the first Duke game, and then the Miami game that was just played on Saturday. Plus, we, of course, will look at the next week's games, get back onto our schedule of a weekly podcast. But as you see, it's titled Ups and Downs. We've been up and down. My plan for this podcast is kind of to quickly go through those first three games because Notre Dame was so long ago. Plus, it was a loss. We don't want to talk about that much, of course. But yeah, we'll hit on that one, and then the two other games. I've looked at the stats a little bit, and we'll kind of go through them just in case you missed something or anything like that. But I have not seen them. Really how we played besides what the stats tell us. And then we'll spend most of our time talking about the other team down the road there that stole one in Chapel Hill and kind of how that happened and everything surrounding that. And then our latest game against Miami before we look forward to the two games we have this week. So like I said, let's jump in. Thanks for joining. Share this with any Tar Heel fans that you haven't already with. But Notre Dame game, we end up losing 80-76. This one was on the road, which of course we know we haven't played well on the road. It was the middle of game of a 3 road game stretch. We lost the previous one to Louisville, so this is our second loss in a row. And like I said, it was a long time ago. I'm trying to even remember. The reason I didn't have a podcast last week is I was in Hawaii, and that's why I didn't get to watch the BC Pitt game as well. I caught this one before we left, but I tell you, after a week at Hawaii, I don't really remember this game much. But going over it, it was Marcus Page's kind of breaking out game from that huge slope. He had 21 points, shot 5 for 8 from 3, 7 for 12 from the field. Let's see. Joel Berry had 10 points. Bryce Johnson had 14 and 14. Kennedy Meeks, 12 points. Isaiah Hicks off the bench had 12 points. Really, we played fairly well. I'm trying to remember the end of this game. I feel like we should have had this game. I believe we were leading a lot of the game. They went on a stretch at the end there, and we just never really got over it. Kind of like what I was talking about. I know it's been a couple weeks now, but last couple of podcasts even, where we're back to where we were the last couple of years, where we kind of expect something to happen for us to lose games. We don't have that mental toughness. We don't have somebody to really step up and make a big play for us like we need to. Take a hard foul, whatever it is, that we get back on track and finish games out. We don't close out games real well unless we're blowing somebody out, or maybe we're getting blown out and you say we finish well to make it close or something like that. But we just really don't close games out well. But yeah, looking at team stats, 41-40 in our favor of rebounds isn't great. They had 20 offensive rebounds, which has become a problem. Offensive rebound for their team has really become a problem. I know there was a stretch we were talking about how well this team was at steals. We had 1 steal in this game. They had 10 steals in this game. We had 17 assists to 13 turnovers. We only forced, I don't even know if they were forced, but they only had 2 turnovers the whole game. Think about that. 2 turnovers in the entire game is what they had. So that kind of, breaks it down right there. Rebounding, turnovers. I guess steals would go right with that. So shooting wise, we didn't shoot horrible. We shot 46% overall, 50% from the 3-point. Pretty good for let get away. We can kind of excuse it or whatever, pass it off because it's on the road. And everybody in college basketball this season is not winning a lot on the road. But again, it's one we should have had, and it would have been huge for us in the ACC standings, and all that, getting ready for the tournament. So we follow that one up with Boston College, which ends up being a 3-point win, 68-65. So again, I did not see this game. Tried to follow it a little bit, but yeah, again, I was in Hawaii. It didn't happen real well. What sticks out to me is how low scoring, like 68 points. That just isn't going to do it for us. This is the game, and I think I saw this. It was after. I don't think I saw it before the game, but Roy switched out our entire front court. Instead of Justin Jackson, Bryce Johnson, and Kennedy Meeks started Theo Pinson, Isaiah Hicks, and Joel James, which is, I don't know, kind of bizarre. Roy has always been a stickler on his starting lineups, unless it's injury or Kennedy missed the shoot around or something like that, and then he just switches the whole entire front line. I don't know. And then Joel James, who started, only played 3 minutes. So I don't know. We're working with a different Roy than in past seasons. I'll tell you that. I don't know what it is, and we'll get into that a little bit later when we talk about his comments after the Miami game and rumors out there. But Justin Jackson responded well, coming off the bench in this one. Shot 9 for 11 overall, 2 for 3 from 3-point line. Had 20 points. Marcus Page shot 3 for 6 from the 3-point line, 12 points. Joel Berry, 10 points, 6 assists. But that was it. We had 3 guys in double-figure scoring. Kennedy Meeks led us with 7 rebounds. Bryce, in the phenomenal season he's been having, had 9 and 5 with 4 fouls. So again, it might be foul trouble there. I know it looks like Isaiah fouled out, so there's foul trouble there. But yeah, I don't know. It just looks like a bizarre game. We shot 5 for 16 from the 3-point line, so not great, but not horrible. Shot 52% from the field, 31% from 3, and 75% from the free throw line. Again, only out rebounded them 31-29. Just had 6 offensive rebounds, which coming into the season we thought was going to be huge for us. Allowed them to have 8, which isn't horrible, but it's more than what we had. 14 and 13 for turnovers. I don't know, nothing really there as far as stats go that stick out to why we didn't just clobber them. Probably the most memorable, I don't know if that makes it sound good, but the biggest happening in this game was Roy's vertigo acting up, him kind of collapsing there on the bench in front of the players, and going to the locker room for the rest of the game, and Steve Robinson finishing out. And hey, we pulled out a close one. I don't know. People are going to speculate and all that junk, but it's interesting. We'll leave it at that. But that's been talked about, and again, it's pretty old news, so I don't want to spend a whole lot of time discussing on it. And we'll talk more about Roy later on. So I mean, it's a win. That's good for us. Kept us at first place in the ACC. Kept us in the top 10. I believe we were still at that time. But yeah, not impressive by any means. So yeah, that's Notre Dame, Boston College, and then we had Pittsburgh finally come into town. We finally got a home game again, and I mean, just a completely different team shows up. We have 5 guys in double figures. We blow them out 85-64. Again, this is a game I didn't see, so maybe it was closer and we pulled away at the end. I don't know that for sure. Stats, though, look good. Only 29 rebounds for us. They had 41. We had 1 offensive rebound. They had 19 offensive rebounds to get the bad stats out of the way there. I mean, that just boggles my mind that we can give up 19 offensive rebounds and we get 1. I don't know. I don't even know what to say. Like, we'll just leave that at that. But we had 11 turnovers. We caused 19 turnovers by them. 10 steals for us. Individually, Bryce Johnson's led us 19 points, 7 rebounds. Justin Jackson, another solid game, 14 points, 6 assists to 1 turnover, a couple of blocks, a steal. He shot 6 for 10 overall, 2 for 3 again from the 3-point line, so he's kind of finding his stroke there. Joel Berry, 13 points. Marcus Page had 15 points, shot 3 for 6 from the three-point line. Isaiah Hicks had 10 points off the bench. Again, rebounding, this was not a great game for that. I don't know if we got bullied around or what, or if it just shot the ball that well that, it wasn't needed or wasn't even an opportunity. But we shot 59% overall from the field, 53% from the three-point line, 87% from the free throw line. So we did shoot the ball quite well, held them to some pretty good stats shooting-wise. They shot 37% from the field, 43% from three, and not that we had anything to do with it, but 39% from the free throw line. So, that obviously benefited us big time. Hopefully got our confidence going well. We were going into the first Duke game, which is where we're going to go to next. I don't know, leading into the Duke game, I know I didn't get a preview, obviously, because it's the first time we're talking about it beforehand. And that's something I usually like to do, is get that preview in ahead of the Duke games especially, but really every game. But going into this game, I don't know. I didn't know what to think. Like, on paper, there's no way we should have lost to them. And still, I don't even know how we did, having watched the game. But going in, I just had this uneasy feeling, like I didn't know what to expect, like they were going to pull something out of their butt or something like that. And mostly, I would say our doings. We allowed that, but they did just that. You have to give them credit. They stuck with it. They fought through injuries. They fought through fouls, all that stuff. But I'm not trying to take anything away from Duke. Give them credit. They played a good game. They had a good game plan. They executed well. But to me, I just feel like it's us. We didn't play to win. We kind of played not to lose, and it backfired on us. We did exactly that. We lost, and I think we lost the game more than what Duke won the game. Again, they made the plays. Give them credit, but our defense was horrible. We couldn't stop anybody. They just isolated us out and took it to the hole. And they knocked, especially Brandon Ingram knocked down some really tough shots. But our execution was horrible. I don't know again, after this game was a big one where people were saying, fire Roy. And you don't know what Roy is saying in the huddle. Like, Bryce Johnson had like 27 points, 13 rebounds or something like that at halftime. He scored like the first 2 points out of the halftime, and that's what he finished up with, was 19. He got like 2 touches in the last 13 minutes of the game. Like, if somebody has 29 points in the first 30 minutes of the game, like, why don't they end up with 40, 45? Pound the sucker into them. And we didn't. We just didn't even throw it into anybody. Kennedy Meeks, Isaiah Hicks, Joel James. We didn't throw it into anybody. Didn't post up anybody. And so you don't know if Roy is saying, throw it in, and we just aren't, or what. So I'm not trying to blame anybody besides the Carolina basketball team. That includes Roy, includes the players. But yeah, it was just mind-boggling. Like, we had the game under control. Bryce Johnson having another great game, and then on top of that, I haven't even mentioned it, but again, if you watched it, and if you're a Carolina player or fan and listening to this, you're probably a pretty big Carolina fan. You know that Matt Jones went down. They still don't have Emil Jefferson back, and they were playing 5 guys. Like, they have 7 guys that played. Matt Jones got 9 minutes before his injury. Chase Jeter gave them 5 minutes when Plumlee got his 4th foul. Other than that, they played 5 guys, and we couldn't get anybody fouled out. We couldn't press and get them tired. Like, it was just, I don't know. I still am ticked off about this game. And somebody on Twitter said, if you like happiness and good basketball, then this isn't the way to live, to look at this. But this game just like irked me. Like, there's just no way we should have lost this game. So Plumlee picks up his 4th foul with between 10 and 13 minutes left. Sits for 5 minutes and plays, I think it was like the last 11 minutes or something like that, played with 4 fouls and played hard, played smart, didn't pick it up. Like, we should have been attacked. Like, and I even tweeted it out during the game. We should throw it inside and attack Marshall Plumlee every single possession until he gets that 5th foul. Make the refs swallow it a couple of times, make some bad calls before they actually get that 5th foul, but get that 5th foul. And we never did it. I mean, the kid played 9 to 11 minutes or something with 4 fouls and was still, getting rebounds and hustling after it and playing defense. And I mean, harder than some of our players have all season. Sad to say. So, yeah, I don't know. It is what it is. We're past it. The way that game went, I think we should still win in Durham. Like, there's no reason we shouldn't beat them at their place. I don't care if it's in that little high school gym. We should beat them. But the way that game went, who knows what's going to happen? Like, I don't know if our guys get scared of that rivalry, if they're just not big enough for the moment, or what the deal is. But it was infuriating. And again, give Duke credit, they executed. So as far as our stats go, again, Bryce led us 29 and 19. Should have had at least 10 more points, a few more rebounds. But you can't really blame – people were blaming Bryce. But big man can't throw him the ball. Sure, he can get some missed rebounds. But when we're shooting threes and stuff, there's going to be long rebounds. It's a lot harder for him to run down. But, yeah, 29 and 19 for Bryce. Justin Jackson, the only other guy in double figures with 13 points. Had 3 assists to no turnovers, a block. And then Joel Berry had 8 points, just 1 assist. Marcus, and he shot 2 for 12. Here's the thing. Joel Berry shot 2 for 12. Marcus Page ended with 7 points, 3 assists, 3 turnovers. Shot 2 for 10, 0 for 6 from the 3-point line. So between our, I don't know what you want to say, 2 starting point guards or our starting backcourt, between Joel and Marcus, they were 4 for 22 against Duke. We lost by 1. So yeah, our other starter, Kennedy Meeks, 6 points, 8 rebounds. That's about it. Off the bench, Nate gave us 4 points. Theo gave us 2. Isaiah gave us 4. I mean, just not a lot there to be impressed with. Nate Britt did give us 6 assists to 1 turnover. Maybe his minutes need to be more. I don't know. Maybe I'm just reacting for this game. We were 1 for 13 shooting from the 3-point line. Let's see, second half, we were 0 for 5. So we actually shot more in the first half, which I'm surprised, which probably means we had a lot longer twos being taken in the second half as well, because our guards shot a lot more in the second half than they did in the first half. And we see how that went. So, yeah, overall, we shot 43% from the field, 7.7% from the 3-point line, and then 80% from the free throw line. So it wasn't the free throw line that lost it. We were 12 for 15 from the free throw line. They were 13 for 16 from the free throw line. 7 for 19 is what they shot from the 3-point line. Rebounding, again, we just went through 2 games where we either got out-rebounded or out-rebounded by 1 rebound. We out-rebounded Duke 46-34. We had 18 offensive rebounds. Again, coming from a game where we had 1 offensive rebound, we have 18. They had 11 offensive rebounds. So it wasn't there that they killed us. They only had 7 turnovers, so they took good care of the ball. We had 10 turnovers, not a big difference there. It really comes down to us not taking the right kind of shots in the second half, taking long jumpers instead of pounding it inside and following them out, and them just spreading us out and taking it to us, and us not adjusting or playing any better defense than that. I mean, play a little zone. How about if they're only playing 5 guys in a game, maybe we press them. There's a concept. Like, hey, they only have 5 guys to play the whole 40 minutes, or even 6, because obviously we didn't know Matt Jones was going to get hurt during the game, but it could have changed even after he got hurt. Like, let's get them tired. Let's trap them a few times. Like, what's the worst thing they're going to do? They're going to hit some threes? Well, hey, they're doing that anyway. I mean, let's be a little creative here. And again, that goes back to Roy. He didn't press, but you can't let the players off the hook because they didn't pound it inside. Like, I don't care what my coach is saying. Like, if I got a guy 29 and 19 in the first 30 minutes of the game, I'm going to give him the ball a few more times. Crazy, I know. Sorry, you can tell I'm a little fired up about this game. The other thing I wanted to mention, though, was all this crap talk about Duke just playing 5 guys and how tough they are and all that stuff. That's a bunch of garbage. Like, the only reason they're playing 5 guys is obviously they didn't recruit anybody else. Like, there's no rules against recruiting people beyond 6 players that are competent college basketball players. Like, Roy will substitute in his walk-ons in the middle of a game if he gets mad enough. So, yes, they're playing with 5 guys. Those guys are playing tough and doing what they can. But to say, oh, we only have 5 guys, well, if that's true, it's only your fault. Go recruit somebody else that can play college basketball, because I'm pretty sure you get like 12 scholarships. So, yeah, it just bugs me that, oh, we only got 5 guys. We're so tough and blah, blah, blah. Well, it's your fault if you only got 5 guys. If that's all you want to play, then okay. But then don't use it as a battling cry or excuse or anything. Oh, we only have 5 guys. And obviously, yes, Emil Jefferson is hurt. You can't do anything about that. Matt Jones is hurt right now. You can't do anything about that. You didn't plan on that. But hey, guess what? North Carolina's had some injuries before. We've fought through it. And yes, there are a lot of North Carolina fans that will use Kennedy Meeks's or not Kennedy Meeks, sorry, Kendall Marshall's injury is, why we didn't win that championship. And yeah, that was an injury in the tournament. And we lost a point guard to a transfer that would have been his backup. And so we didn't have one. And look at what Roy's done since. We got Marcus Page, Joel Berry, Nate Britt, all at point guard right now. We got a point guard signed for next year. We have point guard signed for the year after that. And we got at least one offered after that. So, yeah, all this 5 guy stuff, just think if you were somebody else on Duke's roster down there, like cool, I got a scholarship to Duke, but I'm not competent enough to play 3 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Like, my coach would rather have a guy with half a leg and 2 fingers go out there and play instead of me. I mean, like, why give him a scholarship? Just save the scholarship then if, either that or all their scholarship guys are to make the GPA look better and make Duke's academics all that much better. I don't know I haven't heard anybody ask Kay why he didn't recruit beyond, again, if you want to say 7 guys, why he didn't recruit beyond that, that's, nobody's asked him that. But all this garbage out, we only got 5 guys. Well, blame Coach K then, because he's the one that recruits. And obviously he can bring him in. I mean, I'm not even saying he had a good class obviously last year. They won the national championship with a bunch of freshmen, brought in some, highly recruited freshmen this year, has got the #1 class for next year. Like, okay, so recruit more than 2 guys a year then or something. I don't know. Just, again, my soapbox. I know there's some injuries in there, but again, it's your own doing. Like, if there's teams that can, we get 8, 9 guys double figure minutes every game. Sometime to our detriment, I will agree to that. But if we can, if we got 9 competent guys, I think you can have, 7 competent guys with a couple injuries. It's not like, we're not talking about Boston College here or some low ACC or even a mid-major school or anything like that. Like, you got guys that'll come if you offer them and, play sparing minutes or, whatever that for a couple of years. But maybe not. Maybe Coach K runs them all off. I don't know. So I'll jump off that soapbox for right now. Yes, we lost to Duke. It was irritating. It was unbelievable. I could not believe it. And I just hope that we can step up and actually beat them at Duke, because we absolutely should with the 2 teams that are playing right now. And again, it could be totally different. Emil Jefferson could be back by then. Matt Jones will probably be back by then. From all the reports, he almost played the game after us, so he should be back. But still, with those players, if we have a decent game plan and we can execute, there's no reason why we shouldn't beat them. And that's about all I got to say about that. So sorry for getting all fired up here, but That's what college basketball and especially Tar Heel basketball can do to me. So yeah, then this past Saturday, we get a little bit of revenge. It doesn't feel nearly as nice as it would to have beat Duke. I will admit that. Of course, it's our rival. It's a pretty big one. A lot of people know about it and watch it. So yeah, it'd be nice to beat Duke instead of just beat up on everybody else. But we did respond very nicely, and we get the starting lineup I've been kind of waiting for. Isaiah Hicks replaced Kennedy Meeks in the starting lineup, so we had Barry, Page, Jack starting. And yeah, I don't know. It was a little strange because he subbed in Kennedy like 2.5 minutes in for Hicks. So it was almost like he was punishing Meeks with just not getting the start, and then he was fine after not starting. But then it did end up Hicks getting more minutes than Meeks, and I think that's kind of how it should be. I've been high on Isaiah Hicks all season. I believe if you can go back to the preseason, telling you this is kind of his season to really break out, and he probably hasn't done this quite as much as I thought he would, but Bryce has probably broken out more, definitely playing at a higher level, but Hicks is being really efficient and being a very nice player for us. So I wouldn't say you can't say he isn't breaking out a little bit this year, but yeah, we blow Miami out 96-71. I think we got it up at least to 29, if not over 30-point lead at one point. And yeah, we got 6 guys, and I tweeted this out after I think it was after the game too. We had 6 guys in double figures, and Marcus Page was not one of them, and Kennedy Meeks, who is usually our starting center, was not one of them either. So pretty much you could say 2 starters didn't score in double figures, and we had 6 guys score in double figures. I mean, that's crazy. Obviously, we know Marcus can. Kennedy hasn't probably in a while, but we know he can. So, you can legitimately say we have 8 guys that can score in double figures on any given night. So, yeah, it was a solid game for us overall. Just looking at stats, we out-rebounded them 46-29, 19 offensive rebounds to their 14. We shot 54% overall, 45% from 3, which we were 9 for 20. So we shot probably too many of them. But we did knock down 9 threes. Shot just 69% from the free throw line. But again, obviously we didn't need it. Just 9 for 13. Held them 42% shooting overall, 32% from the three-point line. And again, they're hurting themselves by shooting 58% from the free throw line. 9 turnovers for us, 11 for them. Not a big difference there. It was really just how confident we were, how well we were shooting the ball, and yeah, it just seemed like we were getting every bounce here. Stat-wise, individually, Bryce Johnson 16 and 15. I believe they said it was his 16th double-double this year. So again, just still killing it. Definitely in the race for ACC Player of the Year. They'll probably give it to like Grayson Allen because he'll keep putting up a little bit bigger numbers offensively anyway. But I mean, Bryce deserves a lot of recognition. Will definitely be first team All ACC, and yeah, deserves everything coming at him. He's just playing at a super high level, and yeah, we just got to keep feeding him the ball and just make sure that he doesn't go back to being a head case or anything like that. But Isaiah Hicks getting his, I think they said like 6th start of the year. 12 points, 5 rebounds. Justin Jackson, another solid game, 15 points, 8 assists to 1 turnover. Our leading assist man by quite a ways. He was 3 for 4 from the 3-point line. Let's see, who am I missing? Joel Berry, 10 points, 2 assists to 0 turnovers. Assists should be a little higher, but he actually only played 18 minutes in this game. Let's see, I guess he did have 4 fouls. So I do remember picked up his second fairly early in the first half, sat for a little bit there. Nate Britt off the bench, 10 points, 2 assists, 0 turnovers. Theo Pinson had a decent game, 10 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists to just 1 turnover. And then we had Marcus Page, 7 points, shot just 1 for 5 from 3, so kind of slumped a little bit again. And then Kennedy Meeks had 8 points, 5 rebounds, 3 blocks. So, yeah, everything was just kind of going our way. And, Yeah, solid game from us. Good bounce back game from the Duke game. Especially, yeah, you don't know kind of how low they're going to be after that loss where we should have won against Duke. But they came back, responded well, and looked really good. So hopefully they continue that. Hopefully we don't rest on our laurels now and drop right back into it. But yeah, that's all the games then that over the last 2 weeks that I've missed. A lot there, but just really quickly, what we have coming up then Wednesday, February 24th, we play NC State at their place. It's an 8 p.m. Eastern game. It'll be on the ACC network. Again, they are a rival. It's at their place. It's one we have to come out ready for. We'll see. Again, it's on the road. We haven't played well on the road this season. So that will be interesting. And then we followed that up with a Virginia game on the road, which will be really tough. That's Saturday at 6:30 Eastern on ESPN. Yeah, I don't know what to kind of expect. I'm not going to predict anything. NC State, we should win. They're not good, or at least not playing good this year, or playing well. Maybe is better English. I mean, if we can, shut down Cat Barber, like who else is really doing anything for them? And again, with the talent that we have, it shouldn't be an issue. We should win. Virginia, but I will say this about NC State as well. It being on the road, you don't know what you're going to get from us. And yeah, obviously they're going to be hyped. This is kind of their, I don't know if they play Duke again or not. I don't know what their schedule is, but this is their national championship or their Super Bowl or whatever you want to say. Getting a win against us, their fans would rub it in big time. So yeah, we'll see what we get out of our team. It has more to do about us than it does, I think, about them or where the game is being played or anything like that. And then Virginia is going to be a tough one. Obviously, they're back to kind of playing that Tony Bennett defense. We're gonna have to be efficient scoring against Virginia. And they're fighting for a 1 seed as well. They're fighting for winning the ACC. It's still possible with our schedule. If we lose to Virginia and Duke, Virginia could easily at least tie or even, I think, still win the conference in the regular season, get the 1 seed over in the ACC tournament as well as the 1 seed in the NCAA tournament from our conference. That being said, so can we. Like if we take care of business, we're up for all that as well. So it'll be interesting being at Duke or at Virginia. Yeah, it'll be a tough one for us. I don't know. Again, predicting that is too iffy being on the road. It may be one we drop yet. And then just looking beyond that, we play Syracuse at home. We should win that. And then we play at Duke, of course, to end the season. So it's a tough road ahead of us still at the end of the regular season. If we want to have a chance to win the ACC regular season, if we want a chance at the 1 seed in the NCAA tournament, I think right now they're giving Joe Lunardi is giving it to Virginia. And I don't know if that's off of just where we are yet or looking ahead to what both teams have left and kind of predicting. I don't know exactly how he does that, but that's what we have left. Of course, we will do another podcast next week. Let's see. I don't know. I may do it Monday, but I don't know if it's going to be out before the Syracuse game. Of course, then if it comes out Monday, then it wouldn't include what happened to Syracuse. So we'll see. Maybe I'll do it. After the Syracuse game on Tuesday or something. We'll see. I don't know. But Monday or Tuesday, there'll be another podcast out, and then we'll have just the Duke game left or Duke and Syracuse left to go before we get into the ACC tournament. But March is right around the corner, obviously next week. And as much as I can't wait for it, it's a little scary that it's here this quickly. I don't know that we're playing at the level that I thought we would be come March. So we got some work to do. We got we got to step it up here and get going if we really want to put our name in the talks for a Final Four. People are still talking. All the experts are, oh, this is the team I'd pick if I had to pick right now. But we got to do something, and that's, to our favor. Everybody else in college basketball has kind of been as inconsistent as us. But also this would be a great year if we could have came out and really been dominant, and we could have really been that one seed that not that I care everybody picks us to win the NCAA tournament, but we could have really taken advantage of how kind of down, mediocre, inconsistent, whatever you want to say about college basketball this year, and really, I don't want to say stolen because we have the talent, but we really could have had a great chance at a national championship. And of course, we still have a chance. I'm not counting us out, but I think we kind of didn't take advantage of all the opportunities put before us. So hopefully we do from this point on. I hope you'll continue to join in the conversation. I hope you'll connect with me and talk, give me your thoughts and feedback and all that about the Heels, about the podcast. And I hope you will share it with other Tar Heel fans you know. If you haven't already, subscribe on iTunes or Stitcher or wherever you're listening, and give it a review. Help other Tar Heel fans be able to find it. Help it become a little more noticeable in iTunes and all those places. And like I said, tell somebody about it. Share the word, and hopefully I will see you again next week. That is all I got. I am Dan DeWitt signing out for the UNC Hoops Talk podcast. Just remember, go Heels.